Because right now, the Suns think, at least per reports, that in exchange for Kevin Durant, they should get either the number 2 pick or Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle, if not both, for Durant, which is pretty wild. The NBA offseason, we're in the thick of it. For the Rockets, at the very least. Sure, the NBA Finals, still at least one more game to be played. You got to wonder where Kevin Durant will end up as the Phoenix Suns continue to shop him around. Here is the latest as far as the Houston Rockets are concerned with Kevin Durant in a piece from Kelly Iko of The Athletic that was dropped last night. The Rockets have sent a, quote, firm offer to the Suns for Kevin Durant, but Phoenix is underwhelmed with Houston's current valuation of the all-star forward. Sam Amick and John Krasinski also contributed to this piece in The Athletic. I am assuming, based off of everything that has been discussed online, that Jalen Green is involved in these deals, because I keep on seeing rumors about how the Suns are looking at Jalen Green and also gauging how he is viewed across the league, because they will probably trade him, say they were to get him in a trade for Kevin Durant. But the Suns want more than anyone has been willing to offer. Way more. We have heard that the final 3 teams that Durant is interested in a trade to are the Spurs. We talked about that yesterday. The Heat and the Rockets. The Spurs are, in the eyes of Kevin Durant, the front runner, but it seems like what the Suns are expecting to get in return for Kevin Durant is going to mean that the Spurs are out. Because right now, the Suns think, at least per reports, that in exchange for Kevin Durant, they should get either the number 2 pick or Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle, if not both, for Durant, which is pretty wild. I mean, that's a lot for a guy in Durant who's getting closer and closer to 40 and who has a lot of miles on him. And on top of that, who definitely wants a new contract. He's going to be 37 before the start of the year with 1 year left on his deal. And you think that it's fair to ask for the number 2 pick and or Stephon Castle? One or the other. I think it is far too much. I don't know, after Cooper Flagg, who's the consensus top prospect as far as players going into the draft. But while Durant's top choice might be the Spurs, I do not think that means the Rockets are out. Not by any means. The other thing, and we discussed this yesterday, the Heat are at the bottom of that list of top 3 teams that Durant would want to go to. And Phoenix is unlikely to accept Miami's current offer to Kevin Durant. We're hearing this from a couple of radio hosts in Phoenix, specifically John Gambadoro. So Rockets seem like the front runners right now in terms of what they have to offer. I think the question is, how many draft picks is Phoenix really looking for? Because per that Kelly Iko report, with contributions from Sam Amick and others, it does seem like they have drawn a line in the sand and the Suns want them to go over it, but are at the point where they're at the very least considering said offer because they're thinking about what Jalen Green is worth across the NBA, Sean.
Yeah, this to me means or at least tells me that the the Suns are going to be disappointed in what they get. If they're looking for number 2 pick and or Stephon Castle, the reigning rookie of the year, this their actual return is going to be pretty dismal. I think this seems like it is a bidding war between 3 teams that are not really feeling the pressure to actually
Right.
bid, to actually put their best stuff on the table to get this guy. Where I mean, I think it's kind of fair that no matter where he goes, like he's probably not going to be the difference in winning a championship for any of these 3 teams. So, with that in mind, and 2 of them are young teams, seemingly on the ascent over the next 5 years. Are they really going to want to throw that much into a guy who might still be a contributor on by the time that they're ready to actually make the finals? Like you're really this is where the age thing for Kevin Durant like actually
Huge.
hurts the Suns, is because like they can't build the urgency with these 2 teams that are full of young guys. Even the Heat don't want to put in their young guys, which that it's much lesser of a war chest, but even they are hesitant to do so.
Houston has a firm offer on the table, but Phoenix to this point has been seriously underwhelmed by it. And if you continue to read this article, what I find interesting, Sean, is that there's a lot written about the Minnesota Timberwolves in this article,
Yeah.
about the links between Kevin Durant and between Anthony Edwards. And this is something that yesterday we talked about, how Durant supposedly isn't interested in the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I mean, the way that you look at this article, it does feel like Minnesota has a chance to fight their way back in, given all that they have to give up. Some of the other teams that are mentioned in here, the Toronto Raptors as a team that would potentially say, screw it, let's just bring him in for 1 year, because they did it with Kawhi Leonard before. And the other 2 teams that we've seen over the last 24 hours that were supposedly interested in Kevin Durant around the trade deadline, one, the Boston Celtics. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Imagine trading for Kevin Durant after having already won a title, especially before Jason Tatum got hurt. Now, apparently, they're not willing to do that because things have changed with their salary cap and what they're looking at going forward because of the Tatum injury and how they view themselves. And the Knicks were apparently a team that Durant wanted to go to, but the Knicks had no interest in him, per Marcus Spears. So to bring it back, excuse me, not Marcus Spears, per Mark J. Spears. Marcus Spears is the guy that you see in Speak for Your Pizza or whatever. So to bring it back, there's something on the table. I think this holding pattern will continue. I don't think Phoenix is going to get anything more from those 3 teams. So is this going to be, maybe to make an NFL comparison, like when Deshaun Watson had a list of a couple of teams and all of a sudden the Cleveland Browns came out of left field with an offer of a fully guaranteed contract?
Yeah,
Or
but
something like that.
yeah, it's tough because at the end of the day, like if the Rockets trade for Kevin Durant, if the Spurs trade for Kevin Durant, if the Heat want to trade for Kevin Durant, his 3 preferred destinations, none of those 3 teams are a Durant away from winning the title. I think that if you want to talk about the Rockets being a threat to make the West Finals, I would buy that. But I don't know if this Rockets team is ready to, all right, put them in the finals. Get with the Kevin Durant on there. And to their credit, it seems like these 3 teams also know that, because they're not willing to give up their good stuff. So I do think that it's either Phoenix going to have to swallow their pride and get a deal that isn't as sexy or as, asset rich as the assets they sent out to get Kevin Durant, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah.
Or it might be a Toronto Raptors, Minnesota Timberwolves, screw it. We're going in, even if we only do get him for 1 year, maybe we can get him in here for 1 year and he likes it here, and then we can re-sign him. It's riskier, but that seems like it's the only way that the Suns are going to get any sort of competition in this market.
I agree. Completely agree there. So we'll see what happens, but that's the latest when it comes to Kevin Durant. A couple of texts here from the 281. The Suns seem to think they have Durant from 10 years ago.
Yeah. Even like 5 years ago, I think
I would say closer to 5, probably. Yeah, 10 years ago, you're not trading him. 10 years ago, you're like,
10
suck
years
it
ago,
up,
he's
Buttercup.
Giannis.
You know, like you're at least doing one more year.
Yeah. Yeah, you also don't miss the playoffs if he's as good as he was 10
Exactly.
years ago.
From the 832, Durant and Lance McCullers could be rehab buddies. Come on. Durant's not that injury prone. I mean, he's had some issues, but I don't think it's
he
missing
misses
years at a time.
Yeah, he misses a couple weeks every season.
Kawhi Leonard is more appropriate as a comparison.
Yeah.
For sure. Although I don't know if Kawhi Leonard's ever been hurt. I think Kawhi Leonard's just like, yeah, all right, not playing. Bye.